Oh my God, please help me knee deep in the river trying to get clean. He says wash your hands, get out the stains, but you best believe, boy, there's hell to pay. Yeah, you best believe, boy, there's hell to pay. Saying, come on.
And we are back. Tom, you've got the story
Yeah, I
on the
do.
illegal immigration. What's going on here?
And I got this off of AZ Central, as a matter of fact.
Really? You managed to get a story from AZ Central without having to go to 20 minutes of ads?
Yes. Scores of undocumented migrants dropped off in Arizona. Not illegal aliens, migrants.
That's how they're described by the Arizona
Yeah.
Senate.
Oh, actually, scores of undocumented immigrants from Central America have been released at Greyhound Lines Incorporated bus stations in Tucson and Phoenix over the past several days after they were flown to Arizona from South Texas.
Right. It's not just Mexicans. It's
Right.
Guatemalans, Hondurans, basically illegal immigrants. A lot of people don't know this, but a lot of illegal immigration that comes across the Mexican border is not from Mexico.
Right.
It's from South America and Central American countries, which are basically third world countries, and they're looking for a better life. They're busing them in. They're basically shoving them on a one-way ticket to Phoenix and Tucson and saying, we can't process. We have no facilities here to handle you.
So they're being processed here.
So they're being processed, but they're not. They're just getting off the bus and wandering around the station until volunteers, where they get these volunteers, I don't know, get them room and board somewhere.
Right.
Who pays for that? And furthermore, why wouldn't you just put them on a bus to Mexico?
Oh, because they're not Mexicans, Tom.
So what? They're not Americans either.
I know. I'm agreeing with you, but that's. Oh, here it says. Here it goes. Obama's immigration plan. Go Greyhound.
That's not. It shouldn't be something we laugh at.
Oh, that's
really
funny.
ridiculous. It's just a ridiculous. We have an open border. We really, essentially, have an open border because they can come here and at least get a bus ticket, can sit in an air-conditioned bus for 6 hours or whatever it takes to get from Texas. And what about New Mexico? They have to go through New Mexico and get there. Isn't human trafficking illegal, a felony, a federal offense? If they got to cross from Texas through New Mexico and into Arizona, because I know a lot of people don't know geography anymore, you got to pass through an entire state to get here. How did that happen? How were those arrangements made?
Yeah, how did Arizona become?
How did Arizona get? But why wouldn't you just ship them to Santa Fe, New Mexico?
That's what I'm saying. How did we get chosen?
Right. What was the process there? Boy, I'd like to know that one. There's a story there. How did the process get? Did the mayors of Phoenix and Tucson, which are notoriously liberal and notoriously a haven city, say to Texas, we'll take them? Doesn't the laws of this country mean anything? Aren't the law enforcement officers of this nation, the leaders too, don't they take an oath to uphold the law, whether they agree with it or not? Am I mistaken? Do I misunderstand what that oath means? You're responsible to answer to the people of the government of the United States, and you take an oath saying, I got to uphold the law. You're a law enforcement officer. You're not supposed to look the other way. Not only are we looking the other way, we're openly encouraging felonious behavior. At what point do we say, no more? Did you see the pictures online? They got little kids, they got women, and they deliberately putting little kids and women in this situation because they know that anybody that says, oh, they need to be shipped back to Mexico will look like a complete ogre, will look like a heartless bastard. Pardon my French.
They're saying in response to this, volunteers in Phoenix and Tucson have been going to the bus stations to help migrants make arrangements to buy bus tickets to travel to relatives in other cities. They've also been providing food, water, and other necessities.
At what point are we going to say, no, we can't take anymore? At what point are we going to enforce the national borders? At what point do we say, hey, listen, you're not allowed to go to your family and hide out there. You're facilitating a felony. You're facilitating that's illegal. And you're doing it with taxpayer funds, which is twice as irritating. They're storing them. I read in a story that they have illegal immigrants piled 3 and 4 high at Lackland Air Force Base and costing the American taxpayer $282 a day. That's outrageous. And they said that something like 150,000 people are coming across on an annual basis. And they're filing for the DREAM Act, and they're getting tuition, in-state tuition, while American citizens sit in jails. They're being fed 3 meals a day while American soldiers are out in the battlefield getting 2. And they're getting MREs, and these guys are getting hot meals. They're getting food. I saw pictures of them being clothed in U.S.
Air Force.
U.S. Air Force jumpsuits, like, sweats that they issue the GIs to exercise in. They were wearing them.
Yep.
Meanwhile, our guys are going without. They can't even get medical care. What the hell is this all about? Why are so many people complicit in this? If I was a law enforcement officer and I was asked, hey, listen, you got to go buy bus tickets for this bunch. I said, I'm not doing that. They're felonies. Throw them in the jail or export them. We need to deport them people. Send the bus over the border. It's like, they're not coming here. These are illegal aliens. And
but the president won't allow that.
I know, which in my opinion is a violation of the oath of office and instantly treasonable, and therefore an impeachable offense.
Agreed.
It's like, why aren't we moving on that? Probably because the Democrats control the Senate, and they know they'll never get past the Senate. I got to tell you, if we win the Senate in November, they better move very fast on this, on the impeachment flag, because we can't afford this, and not just in money. We cannot afford to import a third world country into this nation. We don't have the facilities for it. We don't have the social services for it. Frankly, we don't have anything for it. We don't even have the jobs for these people. What are they going to do when they get here? Sit in somebody's house? How long before they start showing up at the social services office and collecting a check?
Exactly, and that's exactly what they're going to be doing.
If you got, moms and kids, they're not going to be people that can go out and get a job. Maybe the mom could, and then the kids stay at home with grandpa or whatever, but something's got to be done. It'll add up quick. This stuff will snowball.
Stopped, yes.
I mean, it's not just one bus. If it was one bus, you go, well, we'll make room for them. But when you got bus loads coming in every day, and you got people roaring across the border, something's got to be done. Otherwise,
not even one bus, Tom. We can't. We can't. It's a hard decision, I know, but no.
We effectively no longer have national borders.
We don't.
And as word of this gets out, and as we expand the talk of amnesty, and we don't have a closed border, it's going to get worse. It's going to be like, the Jews fleeing Egypt. It's going to be a mass exodus of people flooding across that border because we won't deport them.
It's already happening, Tom. It's already it's already there.
And worse, it's the most dependent people on government out of these immigrants. It's not like a bunch of immigrants are illegally immigrating here and getting jobs when they get here, and you can make
bringing business
or wealth.
Right. Mm-hmm.
These are indigent women and children.
Right.
You can't allow that because you're going to have not in this society. If we were a society that says, well, they're on their own, that would be one thing. That's the way it used to be. They talk about this, that, oh, well, the Irish came here illegally and they just came on a boat over. Yeah, but at that time, we didn't support anyone who came on the boat and got fresh off the boat here. They were on their own. They had to go get a job. Otherwise, they starved. There was no welfare in the 1800s. There was no food stamps. There were no social services like there are now. If people got off the boat and came here because there was no illegal immigration rules, they got a job and they worked and they produced. You got boatloads, truckloads, busloads of women and children who are not going to be able to produce. They are going to fill the schools. They are going to become an entitlement culture built into ours.
Yep.
They're going to become a third world nation right here. And you know what third world nations bring. It brings poverty, it brings disease, it brings crime. This is not to say that the people are bad. It's the nature of it.
Well, basically, Tom, all this is wait a minute. We have to put our citizens, our country, our borders at the top of the priority list, and we're not doing that.
This country has a limited amount of resources, has a limited amount of tax money to distribute to people who are indigent, has a limited amount of hospitals to take care of the sick. It's not like the old days. We have limits on what we can do. Yeah. Therefore, government needs to establish priorities. And the priority should always be for our own citizens and our own veterans first.
Exactly.
And I don't know how you can make an argument otherwise. You cannot say this nation, which is $17 trillion in debt, has an unlimited amount of money, time, and energy and effort to give to people. It can't do it. It would be one thing if we did. It would be different if our society was the 1800s. And that's the way we viewed things in the 1800s. Well, we'll make room because there's opportunity. It's the land of opportunity. But no, it's not that. Now it's the land of entitlement.
Right.
People are coming here because they know they can get stuff. It's not that they want to become Americans.
That's it. They don't want to become Americans.
The other issue that I have with illegal immigrations. They're not coming here to be Americans. They're coming here to be Guatemalans or Central America who live in America and who want work here. And evidence of that, and I'm not just saying this off the top of my head, evidence of that is what? When the economy downturned in Arizona and there weren't jobs to go around, did we still have the level of illegal immigration that we had had in the past? No.
Nope. They left.
They left because there were no longer the entitlements and the work here. It's not about freedom for these people. It's not about making a better life. It's about cashing in on a country that has more to offer. I've said this 100 times. This nation, the locality, the geography, the American West, did not exist before we came here. The land was largely unmanageable. It was unfarmable. There was no industry. There were no cities. We built it. We built this nation through labor, through hard effort, through work. And now that it's built up, suddenly all these people are saying, well, that's our land. We want it back. Well, I'm sorry. You missed your chance. You had the opportunity for hundreds of years. Wait a second. Let me finish this.
Go ahead.
The Mexican people are no more native to this land than we are. They own the land. They were here, the Spanish, long before the American people and the American colonies, the English colonies, moved westward. For hundreds of years, the Spanish had colonized this land. For hundreds of years, Native Americans had this land, and they did nothing with it.
Right.
The Americans moved west, they established treaties, and they paid the people that were on this land for it. And now that we've bought it, built it up, made it worth something, made it manageable, made it the greatest country in the world, they want it back. Sorry. I'm sorry. But you had your chance. You turned it over to us. You sold your land of opportunity for 32 pieces of silver. And now my attitude is tough shit. If you want it back, come here and work here through the legal process that we've established. This is not a racist thing. Any color, skin are welcome. Apply. They're saying we have a broken system. They're saying, well, there's no way to get to the United States. Horse shit. We accept over 2 million legal immigrants south of the border every year. They applied, they processed the system, they worked it. And then they came here, learned the English language, became Americans, and built businesses, homes, and an economy. That's who we want here. We don't want people who come in to cash in, who have to get a free bus ticket over the border to another piece of land where they can entitle in that system. No, sorry. And I have no sympathy for them. Yeah, I know conditions are bad in their country. I know what you're coming from. Believe me, I've traveled to these countries. But you got to understand, there's rules about coming here or not. We only want the best and the brightest. And if too bad, if your country's bad, then fix it. Stop fleeing to the United States for an entitlement and a check. You better throw your leaders out and establish a real democracy. Establish a republic like we did, where we went to the war, where we spilled our blood for this land, and we fought a corrupt leader because we wanted something better. The American colonists didn't go west to avoid the English kings and the Spanish kings. No, they picked up a gun and they fought for it. And they earned their right, and they built a nation, and they cut by hand roads, and they cut through the trees, and they built farmland which the Indians wanted nothing to do with because it was an inch of land covered with locusts and creatures that you couldn't even walk, they were so thick. So don't tell me how you deserve the land and you were here first. I don't want to hear it. All right, now get up off my soapbox now. I'm hoarse.
And I agree 100%, Tom. And what I was going to say was, right now, we're giving it to them. We're handing it back over to them on a silver platter.
On some cockamamie, cockable story that somehow we stole it from and we owe it to them. That's a bunch of dump. I'm as much a Native American as any American Indian out there. I was born here, I lived here, I worked here, and I earned what I got. I never accepted a government check in my life. And I had nothing. When I was 18, I had nothing. I had $50 in my account. And I earned my way through college, and I paid for it, and I built businesses, and I made a lot of money. And I didn't do it by accepting a check from government or getting a free bus ticket to a city who had a better system where I could cash in. I'm upset now. Give me another Baja Breeze.
The Baja Breeze will cure anything.
Yes, it will. All right, we got to go to our last commercial.